We're going to look at number 14 next, kind of continuing on with standard form ax plus by equals c. If you look at number 14, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is there cannot be any fractions for a, b, and c. Okay, they have to be integers. So we need to, if you notice in number 14, we have fractions involved. We need to multiply to get rid of the fractions. You can multiply the whole equation by some number. If you notice, the two denominators we're dealing with are 6 and 3. So you want to think of something that both of those go into, which would be 6. So we're going to take and multiply the whole equation by 6. So we're going to go times 6, and times 6. Now, if we do the 1 times 6 right here, that will be 6. Here the 6's cancel on the middle, so it's plus 7, plus 7x. Okay, and then over here, 3 goes into 3 once and into 6 twice. So I have 1 times 2, which is 2, 2y. Okay, so that got rid of the fractions. Now we have to get x and y on the same side, so I want to locate my x term, which is right here, 7x. It's positive, so we want to keep the 7x on that side, which means I want to minus 2y, bring my y term over to this side. I also want to move this over to the other side by subtracting 6, so that's going to be negative 6. So I have 7x minus 2y is equal to negative 6. So there's my ax plus by equals c form. Now we identify a, b, and c. So a would be what's in front of x, which is 7. Remember, a always has to be positive. B is what's in front of y, which is negative 2. And then c is your constant or number term, which would be negative 6. Okay, let's move on. Next one we're going to do, now we're going to get into finding the x and y intercepts of linear equations and then graphing them. To find the x-intercept of a linear equation, you put 0 in for y. So let's write that down. To find my x-intercept, 0 goes in for y, solve for x. And you did some of this in intermediate algebra. To find the y-intercept, 0 goes in for x, and you solve for y. Okay, so if we look at number 22, which is the one we're going to do here, we've got, and actually I'm going to move down here a little bit. I'm going to do the work down here. So we've got 4x minus 3 equals negative y. So if I want to find my x-intercept, I want to put 0 in for y and solve for x. Now notice we have negative 0 over there, so this side is just 0, so I get 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. Well, I want to solve that for x. I want to add 3, so 4x is equal to 3, divide by 4. And you can get fractions or decimals, so it's 3/4 or 0.75 if you want to think of it as a decimal. That's my x-intercept. To find the y-intercept, now we're going to put 0 in for x and solve for y. So if I put 0 there, this kind of drops out. I have negative 3 equals negative y. That's like negative 1y. We're going to divide by negative 1 to solve for y. And so I get my y-intercept to be 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 1. So there's finding them. Put 0 in for the opposite variable. Now we need to graph. And you're just going to plot. Remember, intercepts means where they cross the axis. So we need to go to the graph. Our x-intercept is negative 3/4 and our y-intercept is 3. So we're going to go plot this. Okay, so our x-intercept is negative 3/4. So we're going to be about right here. So I go on the x-axis, which is this one. We want negative 3/4. So we're roughly right in that. Okay, and my y-intercept, okay, if you remember, our y-intercept that we got down here was 3. So we're going to plot 3 on the y-axis, which is right here, and then we just draw the line through those 2 points.